Hello, beautiful people. I'm Jennifer Kenny. Today I'm here to talk to you about how to effectively use both management and leadership skills. You've been managing work, but have you been practicing leadership? I have a 6-step practice model that I think will help you move from control to building capacity. If your team isn't innovating, are you managing and not leading? If you're managing outcomes without practicing leadership, you're going to be in a dead end. By the end of this video, I want you to be able to understand how to use language to practice both management and leadership, how to apply the 6-step practice model to real situations, and how to move beyond task assignment to co-invention, how to use recursive practices to strengthen both your leadership and your management. So leadership and management get kind of conflated, they get squished together, and we don't necessarily distinguish the difference between the two. So for our purposes of this conversation, I want to distinguish the difference between management and leadership as being management is making sure that people get stuff done and that timelines get delivered on and that results get produced. Leadership is the actual growth aspect of the organization. It is creating the vision, it is establishing the values, it's setting the standards, and it's enrolling people in a vision of what you think is possible in a way that it's incredibly valuable for them and that it provides them with many, many growth opportunities for their own leadership. So as a manager, I can be looking to produce other managers beneath me, and that's fantastic and laudable and important, but part of how I do that is by helping them develop their own autonomy and their own leadership. And they can lead themselves to become good managers. If I'm a leader, what I'm looking to do is I'm also looking to create autonomy, and I'm also looking to grow people to be able to be great managers and great leaders. So that's why it's a little bit confusing, because the managerial role is one that's really around getting work done, helping people be in the right place at the right time, and making sure that you're delivering on very specified value, timelines, deadlines, etc. But in that, you also need to be leading, because as a manager, your leadership is what's going to grow other managers below you. So let me dive into what I refer to as a 6-step practice model. So in my book, The Innovation Mindset, I talk about the 6-step practice model as being a way for people to be able to build new practices. There are managerial practices and there are leadership practices. If you're a good manager, you're developing leadership practices. And if you're a good leader, you have managers around you, and you also have your own management practices for making sure that everybody is in alignment. One of the ways to start thinking about your ability to be able to use these and learn them much faster than you normally would, if you think about leadership as command and control, and you think about management as just getting things done, the 6-step practice model introduces us to the idea that the first thing that we do is we start distinguishing. So I started off this video by saying I'd like to distinguish the difference between leadership and management. And then I went on to show you that management requires a level of leadership and leadership requires a level of management. So they kind of sit in underneath each other at the same time. So we're distinguishing. Then we start observing. And the most important thing that we can do for ourselves is to say, who are the great managers in our organization? How do they manage? What's the difference in terms of how they manage versus how they lead? And be able to see for ourselves that there is a delineation between what are considered management tools, management skills, management capability, and leadership tools, skills, and capability. So now we've distinguished and we start observing it. And again, it's like the Mini Cooper story. If I go out and I buy myself a new car or a new to me car, and it's a Mini Cooper, let's say, and the Mini Cooper, I start seeing it in my driveway every single day, and I'm totally thrilled and happy with it. Once I get on the road, I start seeing 20, 30, 40 other Mini Coopers. Now, it's not that the entire world has gone out and decided to buy a Mini Cooper. What it is that I have triggered in my brain the ability to be able to observe something that matters to me. So as you start looking at leaders and managers that you respect and admire, start observing what it is that they do. Start understanding what you see as a powerful practice that they do on a recurring basis. Once you start doing that, what you will do is you will open the door for yourself to be able to start doing those practices yourself. This is the third phase of the 6-step practice model. It is practice courage. So I'm inviting you to be courageous and step into what you see as a powerful practice and what you see someone else doing as a powerful practice, and start doing it yourself. As you start doing that, what you'll do is you'll start distinguishing for yourself, these are my leadership practice, these are my management practices. And over time, you'll start building a list of what you think those are for you to be a powerful leader. So you're effectively customizing what management and leadership means for you. Once you start stepping up and practicing courage and start being in those roles yourself in whatever size or scale, and start small is my strongest recommendation, is what you do then is you start co-inventing with other people. So you will probably then be able to position yourself to work with one of the managers that you deeply respect and acknowledge as having powerful management practices. If you're working alongside someone, it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to start observing their practices up close. And you'll start seeing that those are practices that you have a different interpretation or a different perspective on. And as you do that, you'll start co-inventing with them so that together your management practices are even better than either one of you could have brought to the table in the first place. So conversation goes something like, you see someone doing really great one-on-ones, right? And you go, oh, I don't do my one-on-ones like that. That's really valuable. Here's what I do. And the other person will go, okay, well, but I hadn't included that particular aspect from a growth or development standpoint. I want to bring it in. So as you start thinking about some of the simple things that people are doing on an absolute recurring basis, one-on-ones are always the ones. You know, in addition to all of our technical work that we're doing, but we're still always doing one-on-ones because we're trying to grow people. As you start seeing practices that great managers have around that, start looking at what yours look like and how you begin to build those. Over time, what will happen is you'll start creating knowledge for yourself, an embodied knowledge associated with fantastic practice. If you start doing that on the management level, start also looking at what does that mean for you to start doing it on a leadership level. The only way you're really going to be able to add value, grow people, and have an impact inside an organization is for you to start building out your leadership skills. As you start bringing those two together, your management skills is kind of the on-ramp. It's the opportunity for you to be able to start managing and looking at where you want to be able to lead, what is new and innovative that you're bringing to the table, and how you can help others. So super simple example of going back to the simple little one-on-ones is if you and the person who you are now partnering with have developed a really effective way to do powerful one-on-ones, then your leadership opportunity is to be able to offer that to your boss, to be able to brief all of the other managers on how to do it, and to coach them and help them through implementing some of that thinking into their own practices. So there's always lots of opportunity for you to be able to practice your leadership and management skills hand in hand once you understand what the difference is, and once you also have distinguished for yourself where it is that you want to add value and what kind of leader you want to be and what practices you want to be able to build. As you start building practice for yourself around how to effectively use both management and leadership skills, I have another video for you, which is what are several ways to develop leadership skills. As you develop your leadership and management skills, I look forward to hearing about it, and I wish you the best of luck.